Good day, one and all. Kathy welcoming you to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today, I am going to attempt a style that I have not performed in several years now. This is Emboss Resist. It's going to be different for me. I'm going to make a 10 by 7 card. You need a piece of 10 by 7 paper, scored at the 5-inch line, fold it with crease it with your bone folder, and that gives you a 5 by 7 card. Then I'm using 2 pieces of 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 white cardstock and a piece of black cardstock that is 4 3/8 and 6 3/8. Now this black and one of these whites, I'll be using GinaK's Master Layouts 8 to cut the white out. I've already cut out the black. And then I just need a piece of scrap white cardstock that I'm going to be doing a sentiment on. And I'm going to start pardon me. I'm going to start by embossing. So I'm going to take my stamp pad, put it in my MISTI. Now I'm going to put it in this upper corner. And this gets a little unsticky sometimes, this particular corner. So I'm just going to wet it a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more water because my tidy towel is a little dry. This corner seems to get the dustiest for me down here in the basement. So if you just wet it down your sticky pad, and then that'll stick again. I'm going to use this large flower. This is by Altenew. This is their Flutter and Bloom stamp set. And I've used this large stamp before, but I want to use it again today. And I might even move this because I think I want to put this decisions of where I want to put this flower. I want to leave some room down in this corner to put my sentiment. Oh, I think that will work nicely if I angle it right here. All right. Now I've used this stamp before, so I don't need to condition it. I am going to use Versamark. This is the watermark stamp pad, which is kind of like a glue. And I'm going to put this on here. But the first thing I need to do before I stamp this is use my Emboss Magic Pad, which has a long string. Oh, that's a string from the Simon Says card kit. I'm just going to, this is an embossing, an anti-static tool. And I'm just going to put a little bit more on here. That hopefully will help keep the embossing powder from sticking to where I don't want it to on my card. And I'm going to do this twice. I just want to make sure I have a really crisp image on here. Okay, that should be good. Now I'm just going to clean this off with my tidy towel, which I think I just set it right over there. And peel this off. Now I was going to use clear embossing powder, but it looks like I didn't clean my stamp very well. So I have a little bit of a trace black, which may not show at all, but I can cover that up. I'm just going to use Wow's White Pearl. Oh no, I have bright white. That's what I want. Okay. The opaque bright white embossing powder. And I'm just going to shake this all over. I was going to use my clear gloss superfine. But sometimes you just don't get all the ink off your stamp pads. Oh, that looks good. Okay. I am liking the anti-static powder tool because it doesn't seem to have stuck where I don't want it. And you only need a little bit of this embossing powder. You can get one of these and it will last you a very long time. Even if you're like me and you have some that fall off your paper. And I'm just using a Swiffer to get that up. Now, you might want to put your TV, computer, phone, whatever you're watching me on mute. I'm going to use my old Derice heat tool. And my microphone doesn't have a mute for loud sounds. And I'm just going to use my reverse tweezers to hold this. And I'm going to emboss from the front and the back. Now, if you can see, if you just heat from the front, it does tend to make your paper curl up. If you do a little from the back, that will help with that. Now, if you do this on watermark paper or mixed media paper, it won't do that as much. It takes this tool a little while to heat up. But once it starts going clear, or white in this case, and I'm just checking now to make sure that everything has changed color and that I haven't missed any areas. And that looks really good. All right. Now bring that up, and I don't know if you can see. I'll try to angle it like there. It's just white on white. Now's where I'm hoping the magic is going to come in. I did this, many years ago when I first started. I did it on a scrapbook page, and it worked out. Have not done it since. I think I need to, this is a little dusty from being in the basement, so I'm just going to wet it and then use my tidy towel just to de-dustify it. This is the waffle flower grip mat. They don't make this size anymore. I am looking to get a larger one when the budget allows, and I find one that calls to me. I'd love to have a 12 by 12. All right, now I'm going to put that on there. Just flatten it down a little bit. Now I've chosen two colors. And now this cardstock is GinaK's Turquoise Sea. So I've chosen Turquoise Sea, and then Wild Wisteria really go nicely with that. And I want to see how this turns out. I'm just going to ink blend all over the card. And they don't know yet how big my stripes are going to be. So I'm just going to set these off to the side. Put that lid. Let's move everything else off here so that I don't get my colors mixed up. And don't worry if you get a big hunk of one color. It will smooth out. One beautiful thing about GinaK's inks is that they have a smoothing agent in them. So it will smooth out and not look as blotchy or as horrible as you think it does at first. It really does smooth out nicely. Unless you put it on your finger like I just did. Like when you're seeing me do this, you can see this spot down here. When this card is all dry, it will not look like that at all. Honestly, I wouldn't lie to you about that. Well, you don't know me, so maybe I would. But no, I really wouldn't. Now I'm just going to go back in and just smooth out the lines. I'm just going to use what's already on my brush. This way it doesn't look like you have a sharp, a rigid line. You want it to be smooth, or I want it to be smooth. And it looks like the colors just flowed together. Now, I'm going to take my Swiffer cloth, and then I'm just going to rub over, because the ink will not stick to the embossing powder. And although you could see the embossed design before, this takes off any ink that may have just been sticking to the top of it. And then look how, I don't know if it's showing as bright white as it is on the screen as it is in person. I'm just going to clean this off a little bit. And that actually worked out. I hadn't done that in a really long time. It's fun to do on a scrapbook page. So if you do scrapbooking, and I really need to get back to that. I've got what seems like thousands of photos to scrapbook. Now I'm just going to get a wet wipe, because I've got a glob of ink on my finger that I don't want to get on the rest of my card. I should get stock in these. First you have to have money to get stock, right? Nice idea. All right. Put my brushes aside and my ink aside before I make a mess. I'm going to put you on pause while I take a quick drink, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I want to die cut this out. I didn't do that first because the die from GinaK I'm using has, well, it has a little bit of paper on it, but it has this ridged edge. And if I didn't die cut it when I was done, sometimes the ink blending won't fill in on the die cut edge. And then now you can kind of put it the way you want it. And I'm just going to trim this off. Where's my top plate? There it is. All right, run that through my machine. Okay. Yeah, see this in the stitching, when you're ink blending, it may not fill in the little holes in the stitching. You can do it before, and I have done it before. It just depends on how you want your card to look. Now down here, I want to stamp a sentiment. I'm going to stamp on here and on a scrap piece of paper for a sentiment. I just have a scrap piece of white that I'm going to put in there, and I'll stamp them both at once. Now I want to use, this is going to be a Mother's Day card. I have a craft show coming up this weekend, and it's on Saturday, and it's just before Mother's Day. So I'm going to put wishing you a very happy. I want to stamp that right on the card. And you know, I was thinking I might emboss it too, which I think I'm going to do. Nope, you know, I don't want to push my luck. I'm just going to stamp this one. I'm just going to use my VersaFine Clear Nocturne, and I haven't used this, so I need to, at least I don't remember using it. Use my VersaFine Clear Nocturne. That's perfect. I should have embossed it, but you know what? Sometimes it might be overkill. Now, there's Mother's Day. This is the GinaK Celebration Wreath. I believe this was the incentive set, and then you had to get the, you had to pay for the die set that goes with it. And then I'm just going to chop out the Mother's Day after I stamp it, and I'll die cut that out real quick. I could stamp that on here too, but I wanted just a little something to pop up. Okay, that looks good. Take these out of here. Gee, do you think I'll get this card done in less than half an hour? I think I just might. Probably not, but I'm going to try for it. Okay. All right, get my die cut platform. Is this the right one? Not. How about that? Okay. Squish and run through. And done. Look at that. And then I'm going to put that right below that, or maybe off to the side. I don't know. I'll see when I put it together. Okay. Now, these parts are easy to get on, but when I put this on the card base, I want to use my new tool from Creek Bank Creations to see how that works as far as putting on a border. It looks quite promising. Oh, that's pretty. And I don't know if you can see that this splotch down here, it's already starting to smooth out. That's what I mean about her Gina's inks. They do smooth. It's amazing. Okay, now to get this on the front of the card, I want to pop this up, and I'm going to use my foam tape. And I'm just going to put 3 strips. This is not a particular brand of tape. It's whatever I found that works very well and is inexpensive. Now I'm going to use my new tool. I've poked myself with it a couple times. In fact, I did on yesterday's video. But it is an amazing tool. I don't know how I missed this before. I mean, I've seen people use them, but those things are so expensive that I didn't know if it would be worth it for me. This thing was $2.99. Well worth it. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue just to give myself a wiggle room when I'm putting this down, because I want to try my new tool. All right. Now, I'm not sure how much of a border this is going to be. So which tool do I want to use? Is it a 1/4 inch or a 5/16? So I'm just going to lay it down upside down first. Nope, it's not the 1/4 inch. So I bet you it's either the 5/16 or the 3/8. So 5/16. Ooh, it's the 5/16. Okay. So this is a tool from Creek Bank Creations. I got it at the scrapbook convention. It's a straight and steady corner tool. So if you put this down in your corner and then hold it in, that's not going to be the hard part. I can see that now. But if you put this down in the corner and line it up, you got a perfectly straight card. Oh my goodness. All right. That worked perfectly. All right. Awesome possum. So if you use the GinaK Master Layouts 8 and make a 5x7 card, you want the 5/16 for your outside border. All right. Now, I'm going to use just a little piece of pop-up foam here. Oh, yeah. I got a little one. Now to decide, before I take the backing off, where I want to put that on this card. Do I want to go right below that? I don't think so. I'm kind of thinking off to the side. I'm liking that. This is just a little, too called for. So I'm going to put it over here. I don't know why. It just, all right. And then I'm just going to leave that there. Now, of course, you know I have to bling this up. I think I want to use, what color? I'm going to go with diamond of my stickles. And I want to put that in the center of the large flowers. I'm not going to do the petals, just the centers of the flower. This will help keep the white showing through. That one's kind of a hard, so I'll leave it off there. But it will also allow the color of the glitter in the stickles and the color of the background to show through. Like, oh, that's my really big brush. That's for large areas. And I need my tiny stickle brush. Okay, now that's all the stickles I'm using. I'm honestly wondering if I need anything more, but of course I probably do. And you know what? I don't want any more on that. I'm going to try and get this up so you can see that. I wish you could see the true color. Oh, on the inside. That's what the other piece was for. Since I use a color card, I put a piece of white cardstock on the inside. You could stamp on this, you could stencil this, you could ink blend it. I would use a straight and steady tool here, but I already put stickles on the outside of my card and I don't want to lay it down flat. Okay, that is my card for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Catch you later.